All right, so when we're drawing the head, the thing to remember, the most basic thing to remember is that the head is comprised of two different shapes. The first shape is always just going to be a basic circle, right? And then the next part of that is you're going to, if you broke this in half, then if you broke this into one more, it'd be a third. So a third down is going to be your jawline to your chin. And that's basically how the head works. So you have your section 1, section 2, section 3. And for this whole next 2 weeks, this is the way we're going to break the face down. So just get used to having thirds as what we do. Now, before we even go into any of the details of like how to measure out, you know, where the nose goes and then where the lips go and where the eyes go, which, you know, that was like kind of a very quick demonstration. The more important thing is to realize how the head moves on an axis. So once again, just drawing a circle. My circles always tend to be ovals, so I have to correct them. But drawing my head on a circle, and then instead of drawing that third point, all I'm gonna do is draw a line down the center, which will be your access point, and then adding just a small square, okay? And even if I want to, I can just draw two eyes, kind of like a skull. So just think of this as kind of like a skull, okay? So your head's always going to be moving on the access point that you draw down this center line. So no matter which direction I'm going to draw this in, I always start with my circle. And let's say I want to do a side profile looking to my left, then I would draw a line down the front, and then I would just draw that same little rectangle or square and then have this off to the side. It almost looks like a whistle or a snail, okay? And then I would just, you know, if I wanted to make this a skull, once again, I'd draw that little thing in there and then that. And then once again, this is moving on that same access point. And let's say I wanted to make my snail, or sorry, my snail. Let's say if I wanted to make my little skull character look up to the right, okay? Once again, always starting with a circle. I start by drawing this access point in the direction in which it will be looking. So if I'm looking this way, the center line, or these two eyes are going to be looking that way, the center line is going to be following that direction, okay? So by drawing this little center access point, you can always shape the way it's going to be looking, okay? Then I know that it's here and there. Might need to adjust some things a little bit. And then if I want to like actually give it some depth or dimension, then if this is the bottom, then I can just shade out a little piece underneath there. Kind of like how we were doing in round 1 by turning everything into a shape and adding the 3-dimensional line of it. So now we have him, her, Scully looking in that direction. Now let's say I want my Scully to look down to the left. Once again, I'm going to start by just adding a circle. I'm choosing that I want Scully to look down to the left, so I start by adding this access point, leaning in the direction in which it will be looking. Okay, so I know it's looking this way. Then okay, so that was what I did there was, if this is the side, then I want to make the side of the jawline right there. So I added that in. Okay. Now we got Scully looking down to the left. So as long as you understand that this center access point is always going to control whatever your head is looking at, then you'll be okay, even if it seems a little bit confusing. So now what I want to do is I want to do full 5, and this is what I'm going to have you do in your checkpoint, okay? So you're going to have 5 different Scullies. So you can draw 5. I'm doing this a little bit small because I used up some of these demonstration areas. So on yours, try to make them a little bit bigger. It'll be easier. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw my access point in each direction I'm gonna look at. So I'm gonna do directly looking at you, then a 3/4 view to the left, then a full profile left, then a 3/4 view to the right, and then a full profile view to the right. And so then all I'm doing is, let's start with the center one first, right? So adding in my little square or rectangle right there, little eyes, little nose. Okay, now Scully's looking directly at you. Now for the 3/4 view to the left, same thing. Here, but remember, I'm not completely turned profile, so you don't want it to go all the way. And then all you're gonna do is add this side plane view of the jaw, and then maybe a small side plane view of underneath the skull. Okay, now you have a 3/4 view over here to the left. And then for full portrait view over, once again, you draw your little snail or your whistle. And there you go. Now you have a full profile view. Same thing on this side. It's kind of hard, my hand's falling off the side, so forgive me for the sloppily drawing over here. Once again, if I draw this jaw/chin area right here, down here, right down here, then I'm gonna also pull the side view of it going up a little bit. Okay. There you go. All right, so doing these 5 right here, bigger on a piece of paper, this is the first part of your checkpoint 1.